So you told us here today that Linda Main is the one that drafted the document that is Exhibit 7, which is the deed, right?
Well, my mom asked her to.
Okay,
From
you
what
can listen to the question. You told us that Linda Main is the one that drafted it, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you then went on to say that your mother asked her to do that.
Yep.
That's what you told this court under oath, right?
Yep.
And did you see your mother ask Linda Main to draft that?
I wasn't involved, nope.
Okay, so you're saying what somebody else told you, is that true? Okay, and that would be your brother Frank, I'm assuming.
Yep.
All right. Now, with regard to that, did you previously tell me that you were told at some point in time, in conjunction with the signing, that you earned it?
Yep.
Okay, so who do you say told you that you earned it?
My mom.
Okay.
I do wish I could find it.
Okay, and when was that?
The day we signed it.
I see. Now, with regard to earning it, that was the time frame that your mom was upset about the bills not being paid because you were.
That was after.
No, wasn't that signed in November of 23?
Yeah, but I mean, she was more upset with the bills after the was signed, or there.
Well, she didn't know about it in November of 23, but she'd already told you that you were going to get a loan with her name on it, in her name, right? Isn't that what she said?
We couldn't get a loan unless she co-signed on the East Pine, but I could get a loan out to all the loans that were taken out through John Deere, through Greenstone, was just taken out in mine and Frank's name.
Okay, because what you were buying, the property that you were buying was securing that loan as opposed to there being nothing to secure, just money, right?
We were borrowing money to buy equipment.
Right, but the equipment was the security for that loan, right?
Yeah, that's how we get the loan.
And so you were told by your mother that she wasn't gonna have the certain things in her name because she didn't like that they weren't being paid, according to how they needed to be paid. Isn't that what happened?
Nope.
Okay,
And we didn't pay.
well,
It's not fast enough, apparently.
well, you acknowledged that she was upset about how things were being paid, right?
They just weren't getting paid fast enough.
And even today, you're behind on many of your bills. You're going backwards even worse now, aren't you?
Nope.
You don't have a big debt with Kendi?
Nope.
Did you pay that off recently?
It's paid in full. We don't, to tell the truth, I just had a load of soy delivered Monday, and they got a check in their hand for that load of soy Saturday.
Okay. Prior to that, you were behind?
Nope.
Okay.
We've been in since 2023. They've been paid in full cash every time it's delivered.
Sorry. Nutrient Ag Solution?
Yep, I owe them some money, yep.
You owe them money?
Yep, I owe them some money, yep, and that'll be paid, shortly.
So you're behind on their bill and you've been told that you have a cash pay only, right?
Yep, actually, I can't get nothing from there yet.
But you owe them 61,000, right?
Yep,
Okay.
I got 21,000 coming a couple days from now to give them.
So, isn't it in fact true, sir, that you and your brother knew that you couldn't get loans unless you had real estate in your name. You were told that by Brian Palega, isn't that true?
We couldn't get the loan to build the east spine and, get a loan to build the east spine if the real estate wasn't in our name, but I could go up and get a loan. I got, just before that, I got 2 loans right back to back
Right, but not from Brian Palega. You got
No.
loans for equipment, right?
through Brian Plagan.
Okay. But you were told you couldn't get a loan to build the east barn from Brian Palega unless you had property in your name. Isn't that what you were told?
Yep,
Okay, and when Brian Palega came out to witness your mom's signature, and you also apparently signed, may I have exhibit 7, Your Honor?
Yes,
And may I approach?
yes, you may. Do you wish to have 8 as well?
No, 7.
7.
Thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
Sir, when exhibit 7 was signed, okay, did you sign exhibit 7?
Yep.
Why did you sign exhibit 7?
my mom was, that's what you were, my mom, there was no loan ever taken out at that time. We even discussed.
Okay, so is that your signature on exhibit 7?
Yep.
And that's Frank's, right?
Yep.
And your signature is above that?
Yep.
And did you write this writing, 11/21/23?
Nope.
Who did that writing?
Probably my older brother Frank.
Did you ever see any of that writing at the time you signed your name?
Yep.
You saw this writing?
Yep.
Okay, and what about the writing underneath your mom's,
Yep. It was
signature?
all there.
So that was there when she signed it?
Yep.
Now, you heard her testify that, earlier that that it was completely blank and she signed her name, that there was none of that writing.
That was all there when we signed it.
And, so it's your testimony that the Audrey Wuschleiter that's in handwriting, the Jeff Wuschleiter that's in handwriting with the J the wrong direction. Do you write the J in the wrong direction?
I didn't write that.
Okay, so the answer is do you write the J in the wrong
Nope.
direction? Does Frank do that?
Apparently. I
Okay,
did it there. 'Cause
All
I didn't write, that was all on that page when we signed it.
and Frank Wuschleiter, that was on the page too.
Yep.
Okay, now, do you know why you signed this document?
Because my mom asked Linda Main if she could write out the deeds to put them in our name.
Okay, so your understanding of signing this document to get a loan was, so,
There was no loan discussed at that time.
okay. So you thought that you had to sign a deed to get property that your mom owned solely to put in your name? Is that your testimony?
Nope.
You were signing that because supposedly it was relating to a loan that you and your brother were securing.
Nope.
And, no, there was no loan. You just told me you were talked earlier about a loan for the East Barn, didn't you?
That was in 2017.
Okay. And,
That was
when did the Amish take the barn down?
probably in 2017 around.
Okay,
If
so,
they did that year, I'd have to go and figure that out. Because then there was discuss about having, if we had actually, Amish all lined up. We got a place where the Amish is gonna build, custom build trust for the barn. But when we couldn't get the loan, and if we could get the money to build each barn, that's when it was get done. We weren't gonna take long out to build each barn that.
but you went subsequent, and talked to Brian Palega about, doing something with the East Barn, did you not?
In 2017.
That's the time that you talked to him personally?
I did, my brother did.
Okay, so you don't really know, you're basing on what your brother told you, is that
Well,
true?
that's what he told me.
Well, let's talk about that. So, do you think that your signature would be required for your mother to convey property to you as opposed to signing for a loan?
My older brother told my mom he was worried that my oldest sister is trying to take a sixth of the farm, and he didn't think it was fair for what I did for the farm.
Okay, so after your dad passed, right after your dad passed, right? Because he died in, was it October of 23?
October 3rd.
Right. So after your dad passed, you had conversation with your brother about him worrying that your one sister was gonna take a sixth of the farm somehow,
Yep.
and that he didn't think that that was fair?
Nope.
Okay. And so,
For what I did there.
and that was also related to his interest, because you and he thought you should have the whole thing, right?
No, how was it? If it wasn't, my brother felt if it wasn't for what I did that time, and when my younger brother Kenny left, if I would have left around the same time, they would either had to rent out the farm or sell the farm.
So is it a true statement that you and your brother didn't believe it would be fair if other siblings got a portion of the farm after your dad died?
Nope.
That's not the case. You just told me that you and your brother had that conversation, didn't you?
Well, how would you put it? I don't see why I can't say what I should get from the farm. How do my oldest sister and two younger brothers have more say than I do? Because of what I did on this farm.
So you feel you're entitled to the farm in some fashion, that's what you're telling us, right?
I figure I should be, because if I ain't entitled for what I did there, I might as well just walk out of this courtroom and keep walking and never turn around and look at this family again.
And
That's
so,
how I already feel about three of them.
okay. And so ultimately, what you and your brother did is you were gonna make it so that your sister couldn't get 1/6 of the farm
We
and.
wanted to, I don't see how could you say it, we wanted to, it wasn't to say the 1/6 part is to keep, so they couldn't, treat me like shit like all my cousins have done to, my one family has done to them.
Okay. So you and your brother then decided that you were going to make it so that there couldn't be, something changed in the future where you wouldn't get what you thought you were entitled to, is that true?
That's how, I told my mom a while ago that I would sign, but I need to see a piece of paper showing what I'm getting, and if I ain't happy what I'm getting, I won't sign. And they were, at one time, they made us an offer on the farm.
Okay, let me stop you there. What you're saying is after the deed was done, you told your mother that you would sign the property back to her as long as you knew what you were getting and you were satisfied. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Because you feel entitled to more than other people.
Yep.
And apparently you felt you should get it before your mom died. Is that how you feel, that you should own it before she died?
If she wants the farm, that family farm to stay going, otherwise the family farm is, if I don't got it there, so right now, with this lawsuit, I can't even go to a bank and get a loan to do anything. Everything we've been doing lately is paid cash. That's why took me so long to plant my corn this year. I had enough seed corn to plant this amount of corn. Well, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got some money so I can go get a little more seed corn. I got all my corn planted. I got all my soybeans planted. It's all paid for right up front. The fertilizer bill you're talking about is last year's fertilizer bill, and then it's kind of hard to make payments, make money when you're paying on another loan to Greenstone, what will be paid in full as soon as we get out of here, and I can sell all my wheat, and then we'll pay them off, so then I won't have no liens. They'll be paid in full.
How many cows are you currently milking?
60, the same exact number, around 65.
And that's the number of cows that your dad milked way back in probably the 60s, 70s?
In the sixties and seventies, we milked between 40 and 50.
And, you can't make money milking 60 cows, can you?
Back then you can, now I can.
Right. And so how long have you been milking 60 cows?
About 3 years
And prior to that, was it more or less?
more,
And what's the most you ever milked?
between 90 and 100.
You can't make money milking 90 or 100 a day either, can you?
Yep. You think my younger brother got the money to pay for that pickup? We got extra money at that time. How did we, in 1 year, we went up to John Deere's and paid $36,000 for a piece of equipment, paid it in cash, because if we didn't pay it in cash, we'd have to pay income tax on that money, and we paid it in full, and we still had money in the back pocket, yeah.
Nice. So,
You say I'm going where this farm is next to, probably within, by this fall, we won't owe nobody.
the acreage, do you agree that there's about 700 acres?
59 acres.
659? How many are tillable?
7, let's see. I'd have to get 500.
And is that 500 tiles?
Nope.
None of it's tiled?
Part of it is, some of it ain't all tile.
And have you ever put tile in since you were 25, 50 with your parents?
Yep. And I can't say the exact year. 1 year, my dad went up to, I didn't know he was doing it, talked my uncle into town, some of his farm, and my dad went up and took out a loan, 21,000 when we were farming, borrowed 21,000. And we put 21,000 into my uncle's farm, and we didn't even own it at that time.
Did you ultimately buy that property?
Yep,
Were you renting it then?
yep. Actually, we ended up in 2006 taking a loan out through Greenstone for 72,000 because they divided there was five left in the family. And you divide it by the tax value of the ground, and we got 200 acres. And means you take the tax value to get the last what we had all on the ground, to get the amount of ground we had to take all the loans to Greenstone for 72,000. And at that time, me and my brother were doing all the milking of the cows and the farming.
So, with respect to this property, you took it from your mom, didn't you?
Nope.
She doesn't own anything now, does she?
Well, yeah, but how do you say it? I didn't trick my mom into doing. If you think I'm that bad, my oldest sister in 2000, a year ago in July, told my mom that they couldn't do the surgery on her leg because the insurance won't cover it. My mom called me bawling that the insurance won't cover it, and I told my mom to go get it done. I will figure out how to pay for it from the farm.
So back to the scenario here. You and your brother have taken everything that your mother owned.
Well,
Real
she
estate
agreed
and
to it.
personal property, right?
She knew she was signing that.
I see. Yeah, you have to do it something. When did you first see page 1 and page 2?
Today I signed it.
Okay. Did you know that the writing on this document, Exhibit 7, didn't have any of the information that is handwritten until your brother tried to record it?
I don't, it was I didn't, like you say, it was on there that, there,
So the question I just asked you is did you know that none of the handwritten,
it was
of
on,
your brother was on there until he went to try and record it and he couldn't without it having that on it? Were you aware of that?
nope.
Okay. So if
I had
that,
my, how was it, the day that it got signed, my older brother told my mom that he wanted to go out and start milking cows. And he didn't wanna go up there, and she knew he was going up to the courthouse to record it. And he wanted to stay so we could get the beans off, because we had a neighbor coming in to help us and harvest the beans, help us harvest the beans that year. Cause our combine, we was hoping to have it fixed by then, but we were waiting on another part, and he pulled in, and next thing you know, we wanted to get our black beans off before it rained.
okay. So my question, sir, was about the writing on the handwritten portions on page 2 and 3. You've
This was
earlier,
on,
you've earlier identified that as being what you think is
I
your
don't know
brother's
where
writing.
it's at, that's all I know, if it's all I seen when I signed it, was like this. All three of us signed it, and Brian Flagg signed it at that time.
Right, and when you earlier told me this handwriting that your brother had was on it, that wasn't true, was it? Because he did that at the register of deeds.
I don't know when he did that.
Okay, so when you told me earlier about the handwritten portion, you were mistaken, weren't you?
I guess if it was, to say it was on there, I had so much on my mind, that's all I had on my mind that day, is how to get out the field and get the black beans into the elevator.
And you never actually saw pages 1 and 2 prior to
Well, I knew,
24, did you?
I knew that's what you were in the process of doing.
You knew what they were doing, but you never saw them the day you signed on page 3, did
We
you?
did- Well, that day when we signed it, like I said, we wanted to get our black beans off so I could make our payments, because if I don't get beans in the elevators, I can't make money to, you let a crop in the field, you can't make money, and everything was paid.
But just to be clear, you were told, you knew what it said because your brother had told you what he was doing, right?
My mom asked, that's
Okay.
over, I didn't get it.
You knew what your
Okay.
brother told you.
Wait, I need a question and then an answer, so please don't interrupt each other. Please try
Thank
to
you,
get it.
sorry. So let's go back. You just came in and signed your name.
Yep.
That's all you did. You didn't read anything, you didn't see anything, you came in and signed your name because you were worried about the black beans, right?
And then when Brian Tiger walked out of the house, he asked my mom twice, do you know you just signed all the ground over to you?
That's what Brian Fleggett said.
Yep,
You know, Brian Fleggett testified he never saw it, pages 1 and 2 either.
well, that's what he said in the, house there.
You know that Brian Fleggett testified that he never saw pages 1 and 2 ever?
Well, that's what he said when he walked out of the house. That's what I heard him say out of his mouth.
That's not true, is it, sir?
Yes, it is.
So it's your testimony that Brian Fleggett said to your mother, after being a notary to her signature, that you just signed everything away to your boys?
Yep.
And what did your mother say in response to that?
Yes, the two boys don't, they earned it.
Okay. Do you recall giving a deposition?
Yep.
And you told me at your
Which
deposition,
one?
pardon?
Which deposition?
Well, did you give more than one deposition?
Oh, we did one with, at your place with my mom and me and my brother. Mike Doors. Brian Flagel.
No, I'm talking about your deposition, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm just asking you, okay, you're asking about a deposition. I was there when you did all of them.
Okay. And with regard to East Barn, when did you have the Amish at your house last?
They weren't, the last one they tore it down in 2017.
Okay, so that's when they were last there,
Yep.
and you had talked about fixing it from 2017 forward, right?
Just when I wasn't, Frank couldn't get the loan to Greenstone, now unless our name was on the property, then it was kind of dropped. We just, we'll just figure out what we can do after that. Like I told it one from, nutrients the other day, I'm looking for it, it's so long, that's all the money I can get out of the town.
May I approach you on
Yes, you.
Sir, you said that you recall being at my office for a deposition, right?
Yep.
All right, do you remember me at that time asking? You wanted your mother to get additional loans to expand and she wasn't agreeable in the fall of 23, true?
We never asked for a loan to expand, if we were gonna expand. Put it this way, in 2005, I walked, Franker testified to this, I went up to my dad, "Come how long you figure you're gonna milk the cows?" And I go to him, because the day you wanna put milk in the cows, the day your cows are gonna go. And I was gonna build a parlor, well, I built a parlor on the time.
Sir, can you read?
What?
You can read.
Yeah, I'm slow reading.
Okay, well, let's go over that. Here's the question. You
Page and
want-
line number.
Yep, sorry, page 46. And line 11. You wanted your mother to get additional loans to expand and she wasn't agreeable in the fall of 23, true? And your answer was, yep.
Apparently, about anytime we wanted, that was discussed about there. Well, I built the parlor in 2006, and then a couple of years later, I built the freestyle barn.
All right, and then line 15. And so what you and your brother did was, if you orchestrated this quitclaim deed and the property transfer that's dated December of 23, true? And your answer was, yep.
I guess, apparently.
Because you knew that you couldn't get a loan without having real estate in your name, because you had already been told by Brian Malega.
Wait, again, let's finish with the question. Go ahead.
So you knew you couldn't get a loan through Brian Malega without the real estate in your name, you knew that, right?
I could get a loan just for the East Vine. I could get any other loan through Brian Flager.
Were you the one that set up the separate bank account, or was that your brother that did that?
Well, we set up the second bank account because I can't get the exact year. At that time, my sister was my mom's right there, and we had a loan payment due with Greenstone, and we had the money in the account, and I asked my mom if she wrote up the check to Greenstone, both loan payments, and she says yes, but then all of a sudden, I got a bill showing it wasn't paid, so then when we found out if I'm in there milking cows, and the check's in my name, why should I put that money in that account if they ain't gonna pay what it's going for?
So my question was, were you the one that set up the separate account in May of 24?
Nope,
Did your brother do that?
the bank, when he was in there, the checks are in my name. My mom, how do you say it? My dad was my gopher and he became my gopher. He goes and gets what it, like that, he does all that part. I do all the, fixing on the farm. I probably leave the farm maybe two or three times, used to be a little bit more now, But in the last while, the only way I leave the farm is if I come up to court, we go to a doctor's call, otherwise I'm there working 7 days a week.
All right, sir. You previously testified that you set up a separate account in May of 24 after you orchestrated this transfer of real estate personal property, right?
That was in May when the bank says, because if the checks are in our name, and they ain't paying the bills like we were asking, and, so we set up a separate checking account, so we knew what our money was going for, because I ain't gonna work for somebody, keep milking cows and not be able to keep the bills paid.
So you just explained to me why you purportedly did it, but you would admit that you set up a separate account in
Yep.
May of 24, and your
Yep.
mom then was living only off of Social Security, right?
Whatever she wanted at that time, I would have gave her. Actually, at that time, my oldest sister Barb, around then, said she ordered new countertops for my mom for the kitchen. She said they were coming from self-serve lumber, but all of a sudden, nope, then they ain't getting it. Then, when she got kicked off as my mom's executor, she told my mom she couldn't afford to buy the countertops. My mom asked me if I'd buy a countertop for a kitchen countertop, and I said yes.
Oh, okay,
Hold on,
time out. This is the court stepping in.
Yeah.
We have to be, I've been very patient. I've been very patient with this. A question is posed, just simply answer the question to the best of your ability, sir.
Well, I'm just explaining why.
Well, again, but I think you need to listen to the question too. Just listen to the question. You can give your answer, we'll move on, but we're getting off topic here. We're not getting the answers that the court's looking for. Just simply listen to the question and then answer it to the best of your ability, sir.
All right. Sir, do you recall your deposition when I said, so did you ever have and this is page 45, line 10. So did you ever have a conversation with your mother that you were going backwards instead of forwards regarding this dairy operation? And you answered, I told her the only way we're going to stay afloat is if we buy cows. In question, was that something that your mother initiated or you initiated? Answer, I did. And when was that? It's just about probably 23.
Actually, before that.
In your deposition, that's what you testified.
Well, I actually, it was probably years before that.
I think. And your
But
mom
you
wasn't
recall-
agreeable, true?
What?
Your mom was upset about the finances and she wasn't giving you any more credit on her name. Isn't that
She
true?
never took any credit on her name. We got it on our own name at Greenstone.
You earlier told me she was upset about payments on a bill that was in her name for the farm, didn't you?
Well, it gets paid. That's the way it was with Dad, when our dad was alive too.
Okay. Nothing further.
Read it.
In your previous deposition, did you state that in May, you started a new, May of 2024, you started a new account?
Yep.
And so who started paying the checks May of 2024?
Frankie did all the checking account, the checking data of it, we set up a checking account in our name, so we knew if our milk check was going to what we wanted it to go to. But if whatever my mom wanted, she knew she could come and get it from me.
So it's your testimony that you never got a loan for the East Barn, correct?
Yep,
And that your mom willingly signed over the 10 parcels of land on November 23rd of 2023, is that correct?
yep,
And that you heard Mr. Galega ask, do you understand that you just signed up all your land to Frank and Jeff?
yep.
And what was your mother's response?
Yes, very good.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
You cross. Start with the question.
I thought earlier you told us that all you did was sign and then skedaddle because you had to take the black beans out.
I was as we were walking out the doors.
I see. Nothing further.
Anything else?
Nothing further.
Sir, you sit down. 12:23, according to the court's clock, we will take our noon recess, reconvene. We'll start at 1:30. Hour long.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go. Court recalls the matters of Wuschlager versus Wuschlager, 24-105-963 CH. Continuation of bench trial. We are in the defendant's case in chief. Ms. Young, you may call your next witness.
I call Ms. Nancy Jefferson to stand, please.
Would you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please be seated. Ms. Young, your witness.
Can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Nancy Lynn Hacker.
And who is Audrey Wuschlager to you?
Audrey Wuschlager is my mother.
And how old are you?
I'm going to be 58. I'm almost 23.
And where do you live?
I live just around the corner from my parents' farm on Berry Road. They're on Westwood Road, about a quarter mile away.
And have you lived there? How long have you lived there?
I lived there. I lived there when I was starting college in the 90s. And I got married in 1999 to my husband.
And can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with your mother in terms of what you helped her with personal stuff?
My mom would call and I helped her with grocery shopping more so when COVID hit, because just feeling the need to be protective of them because of the virus, and also through prior to that to help with grocery shopping, helping set up my father's meds. And I didn't start to do that until several years back. My sister had scheduled a heart procedure for my father, and he went from being on 3 blood pressure meds to 6 blood pressure meds and almost died in a procedure that was supposed to be in and out.
Okay.
And then I decided to step in to help my mom with my dad's med boxes because he was on cholesterol meds and blood pressure meds, and it's just a little, I helped both of them.
So about what year was that?
I'm gonna say around 2014, 15 in that area.
And what do you do for a profession?
I graduated from college in 1993 as a social worker, and I worked approximately 30 years advocating for the development of mentally disabled, 25 in Sanilac County, and the mentally ill. And then I took a job closer to home because my parents were having more health issues going on. And at that time, then I went back to Carroll as a case manager. They were short by 7 staff for 2 years.
And so you had a good relationship with both of your parents.
Yes, I did.
And did your mom often call you to tell you about things that were happening on farm?
Sometimes she would call me and ask me my opinion about things or tell me things that were going on.
Did she
Yes.
Did she ever tell you that she had an estate land up?
Back actually in 2019, 2020, I encouraged my mom for her and dad to develop a will and to consider signing off farm assets in their name because of the risk of a nursing home care going back 5 years to collect if they ever needed it. I pray they never did, and my dad didn't, but there were attempts a few times to have my dad put in a nursing home. Some of the procedures he had complications with.
And there come a time that she told you that she had visited Mr. Clark's office?
Yes, she did. She told me when I was over visiting, whether it was setting up meds on a Saturday or Sunday, she said that her and Dad went up there and they made a will and they didn't want any of us to open it until my father and her passed. And prior to her going up there, she said, I just want to make all my children happy. And I told her she needed to do what she felt was best, that her and Dad felt was best, because I didn't think it would be realistic to make all siblings happy with their decisions. And she said she put it in a special spot in the house after she did it. She did complain on how much it cost, because attorneys aren't cheap. And I told her it was in a cabinet she inherited from my Uncle Raymond, some cabinet. And I told her to really not tell me, because I had to clean her house, mainly when my sister and she was having company come over. But I told her to let Jeff know, because she's been with a long time and I'm not gonna remember where it is.
Did there come a time where you helped her with her checkbook?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
My mom and dad were having health issues and I would take them to the emergency room to their doctor's appointment, because after my sister fired their Dr. Scatton, I ended up finding Nancy Hunt, who they liked to go to and visit, or while I was at work, I could take off on my lunch break to be there to help them with their appointment. But, can you repeat the question again?
Did there come a time you helped your mom with her checkbook?
Yes, my mom, asked me to help her with it. There was a period of time that she just quit writing for a few months, and I would go up to her bank at Independent Bank she would write a check out for me to grocery shop, but to get a printout of it and help her balance it out. Some of the things that set it off was when my dad was on the meds, we decided to go with a mail order company, and they got their first and only debit card that we only used to pay for the co-pays of the medications and to order my dad and mom's meds that I assisted him with. But she didn't, I think it wasn't understood that it wasn't a credit card, but it was a debit card that was taking out of the check. So sometimes she didn't think we needed to record those in because my parents didn't use credit cards.
Okay, and after your dad passed, did you help with the bills at all of the farm?
I had to step back some at that time. I only helped mostly with medications, but even then, it was mostly running errands, grocery shopping. Because when I started working at Carroll, I was working a 12-hour day, and my mom would still call me on my way home from work, pick up, get Cham's chicken, I don't feel like cooking tonight, or not buy easier meals. But I did ask my siblings if they would be willing to help with some of the shopping, just because of the long hours. And then I started to have required, besides my 40-hour week, they were short on-call crisis workers. So I had to work my 40-hour week, but then I would be called at 12:30 at night, and I get home till 4:30 in the morning doing a crisis assessment on someone.
Okay, so
And then
let me,
have to be to work at 8:30, so I just, and my husband was having more health issues too, so I wanted some support.
but you still remained in good contact with your mother after your father passed away, is that correct?
Yes,
And she'd often call you about just everyday, day-to-day things.
yeah,
Did there become a time where she told you that a person by Linda Main was helping her with the checkbook?
yes, she did.
And
Actually, she told me she was helping her with some, business that she was doing, and I asked her how it was going. Was she doing everything that you asked her to do? And she said yes.
Did you ask her at the time, or did you know why she was asking Linda to help her?
Object hearsay.
I'll retract that. Did you talk to your mother about the deed that happened on November 21st of 2023?
I know when my mom, after my dad died, my mom and I, we were grieving. And I know that my mom told me she knew the decision she made about the land, but there was confusion about the Knights of Columbus policy that was in my dad's name. And I let her know that while she was in the hospital for approximately a week or 10 days at my dad's bedside, that I got a call from one of the Knights of Columbus who handle the life insurance. And I told them to red flag it. And I called my mom and let them know that they wanted to talk to her. And at that time, she was angry with that man. I'm not sure why. And she didn't want to talk to him. But I asked them to red flag it then if there were concerns.
Did you have conversations with your mother about attorney's costs at any point?
At one point, my mom told me when I visited her after my dad died that when there were very volatile negotiations going on, and I was not a part of those with my siblings coming over and making demands. But please repeat the question because there's been a lot that has gone on. Dramatic.
Yes. Did there come a time that your mother talked to you about her feelings about attorney's fees?
Yes, she had one point said to me, and I think it was prior to the lawsuit, that she was being encouraged to pursue by 3 of my siblings. She said, "This is the damn shame, Nancy, all the blood and work and sweat, hard work, Dad and Frank, her boy," she said, which means Frank and Jeff. She's always referred to my brothers, Frank and Jeff, as her boys. That this is a waste of all the blood and sweat and hard work on the farm. It's gonna be wasted on attorneys.
And because she felt like that, do you know, did she talk to you about why she had Linda draft documents for her?
Object. Foundation.
Sustained.
Um,
Oh, wait,
No answer.
there's no question. Go with your question. You may rephrase.
Did there come a time your mother talked to you about the deed that Linda was doing, Linda made?
no, other than she was telling me she was having her do paperwork for her, and she trusted her and said she was doing everything she asked her to do.
Nothing further.
Cross-examination.
You have no personal knowledge as to who drafted the deed in Exhibit 7, is that correct?
I actually saw it on the table the day that she told me she knew the decision she made on the land. I didn't read it word for word.
Okay, so let me back up. So is it your testimony that you were at the house the day that that document was signed?
No, I
Okay,
was not. I
All
was
right.
working.
all right. When was the time that you had been at the house from November 21st? When was the time prior that you had been there?
The year again.
23.
I went there a few times. I did my mom's hair for.
Okay, I just asked when, not why or how.
Um,
If you know, maybe you don't know.
sometimes when my mom would call me to pick something up from the store, grocery store, give me a list, so I was there on and off.
Okay. And you earlier said that you understood that there was a problem with the Knights of Columbus policy, is that correct?
I told my mom, when the agent called, I said red flag. And my mom was too busy supporting my dad in the hospital that she didn't want, wasn't up to dealing with this right now.
And do you know that Linda Main actually helped her with the insurance? Did you know that? That that's what Linda Main did for her, the policy?
I wasn't sure on what she did. I think she was helping with her checkbook and pay bills.
Okay. You have no knowledge of that. Your mom
I
already
just knew my
testified
mom
she didn't.
Told me she was helping her and asked her, and I asked if she trusted her, and she said yes. And then
So,
she was
okay.
doing what she asked.
Your Honor.
Again, I don't know if it's just the room, but listen to the question and just merely answer the question posed. If we need commentary, we'll ask. Go ahead, Mr. Miller.
So is it your testimony that you had a conversation with your mother after, she and your dad went to Don Clark's office? And, you didn't know what the contents of the estate plan were?
That was back in 2020. No, she told me she didn't want any of us kids to open anything until her and dad passed.
Right.
And I said, I respect your wishes.
So whatever was gonna happen after they were both gone, right?
Yes,
Okay.
or at least
And-
the will would be. I encourage her to put a clause in about if someone contested it, it would be removed because
Okay.
she
So,
wanted us all to be happy.
so is it your testimony that your mom said that she doesn't know if she's gonna make some people happy?
There were a few times where my mom would make decisions about things she owned that she was afraid of what Barb and Paul and Kenny would say, that they would be upset.
Your Honor.
Non-responsive. Just answer the question posed. Repeat your question.
So earlier you testified that your mom didn't show you what was in the document, but she made a statement to you that she wasn't sure she was gonna make people happy. Is that what she said to you?
No, she told me.
Okay,
before-
no is the answer to the question.
Okay.
Thank you. So you would agree that the family is fractured and you and Jeff and Frank are on one side and the other siblings and your mom are on the other, is that true?
Because of threats.
Simple question.
I love my mom
Okay.
and I will hope to have a relationship with her, but she's not living at home. She was taken from her home.
Again, please just listen to the question and answer the question posed. Again,
Thank you.
the answer was found as non-responsive. It's stricken from the record, not to be considered by the court.
So ma'am, is it true that you and your brother Frank and your brother Jeff are kind of on one side of this matter and your other three siblings and your mom are on the other side? True?
No.
Nothing further, thank you.
Redirect. Is your
Do you know why your mom left the home? Her farm home?
I was aware on June 21st. My mom, I got a call from my friend.
Excuse me, Your Honor, and I hate to be, but that has nothing to do with my cross.
court had stricken that testimony from the record.
Well,
That portion I did.
I'll,
I was,
Just wait for a question. It's okay.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Who's younger? Next one.
I call Frank Bushleger to the stand.
So you please raise your right hands. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Please be seated. Please, you're with us.
Frank, can you please state your name for the record?
Frank Charles Bushleger,
And can you tell me where you live?
1100 Washington Road, Manhattan.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can he speak up? It's hard to hear. Thank
I
you.
think he's speaking up. Thank you.
And you lived on the family farm until what age when you went to, did there come a time that you left the family farm?
And 90, one working construction, Chris to May for 18 years, and Chris to May for 18 years,
And during that time, you were working for Kohler Construction. Did you also work at the family farm?
yeah,
And what were some of the duties that you helped out with?
I helped out. And they had anything going on, and I got home in time, so I'll help out, do Detroit, and go work in that.
And when you were working for Kohler Construction, how much were you making per year?
35, just under $35.
Did there come a time in 2006 when you were asked to come home to the farm? And did you have a conversation with your parents about that?
He told me on the phone that if I come back on the farm and, helped out with the building the power, she would put my name on the ground with,
And when you say she, who are you referring to?
Audrey,
And Audrey is who to you?
my mom.
And,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a date. When did we say that? What year?
It was 20.
That was his testimony, 2007.
2006. Thank you.
so, the last 18 years you've worked on the family farm, is that correct?
Yeah,
And when you came back to the farm, did you receive a salary?
yeah, $500.
Can you speak up, please?
$500 a week.
Okay. And was that equivalent to what you were making at Kohler Construction?
No,
So why did you make the decision to come back to the farm?
she said I could come back on the farm with Jeff Noel the power, and she would put my name on the farm with Jeff.
And did the farm,
Jeff Bushleger.
and did the parlor get built?
Yeah,
And how many cows are you guys milking today?
right around 65.
And are you able to keep the farm afloat?
Yeah,
And right now, how are you doing that?
well, the bought after when the lawsuit first started with taking scrap metal out of DNW. And we wasn't showing no money for bills being paid, like we didn't have no money. So then I went in the house and confronted because my name was on the checking account and it showed this amount of money, and I asked Mom if I could get my $500 for the week, because we weren't getting the scrap metal in fast enough and doing the farm.
months was that?
That's probably. I can't think of what I'm saying.
Was that-
It's in the spring of 20. In the spring of 24.
So after your father's death?
Y'all have to.
And did there come a time where you took over the bills for the farm?
Yes, it was, I ain't sure on the exact date, but she said, she told me she put the checkbook and all the bills on the tape, on Jeff's chair where he eats, and told me, they're your bills, you figure out how to pay them. So I took the check and the bills. And from when we started the bills, we owed, Indy Farmers Elevator, $21,000. We had to pay cash for all the stuff we were getting. And then 4.5 months with the same amount of money coming into the checkbook, we had Indy Farmers Elevator paid off to zero. A month later, we had Brown's Dairy paying cash for the soap, and their bill paid off till zero. So we're just down to Greenstone and one fertilizer bill.
And was this before or after there was a filing for conservatorship?
That was under during the, I think the conservatorship never quite happened.
Okay.
Or it was right just before the conservatorship.
And was it your understanding that your mother had Linda helping her sometimes with, Linda Main, with different things that had to pertain to the farm?
Object Foundation.
Rephrase.
Do you know a person named Linda Main?
Yeah, she helped Mom with checkbook and helped her with the balancing of the checkbook. Mom wrote out the
Your Honor,
check,
I'm sorry,
and
but
she
that's
helped.
non-responsive. I had a foundational objection. She asked the foundation question, and instead of saying yes or no, he starts talking about what he thinks happened without a foundation. So I apologize, but
Yeah,
Okay, objection is sustained. He did say yes, he knows Linda May. Next question.
oh, I don't have the answer, you know?
Just wait for the next question, sir.
Okay.
Is Linda a good friend of yours?
Yeah,
And how long have you known her?
35 years,
And how long has your mother known her?
almost 35 years.
And did you witness her helping your mother with bills?
Just over the phone, because Linda, they talked over the phone, Mom wrote out the checks and Linda wrote in the amounts, and Mom had the balance book just to help her with the balance. Just so the checkbook was kept right on balance, but right to that.
And can you tell me what, if any, involvement Linda may have had with the Knights of Columbus policy?
He was asked, Mom asked her to help with the Knights of Columbus policy because she didn't want the kids, us to know what it was. And she asked her to help her to figure it out. And I was in the house when Messi came in the house and he said that there's.
object hearsay.
It ain't hearsay. I was in
Excuse
the
me.
room.
Wait. No,
I'm sorry.
response.
Was there a time,
Objection sustained. It's your second. Go ahead.
was there a time that you came to know that your mother asked Linda to help with the deed?
Object leading, assume, and it's also foundational.
as well as leading.
You may rephrase.
Can you tell me about the deed that happened on November 21st of 2023?
That she, mom asked her to help her do the deed.
Object hearsay.
It ain't hearsay.
Again, sir, you're not the court.
I'm sorry.
Hearsay.
It's hearsay because supposedly Linda Main is telling him. It's hearsay. Linda Main should be here to testify if this is supposedly what happened, and she's not gonna be here.
I don't know where this information is coming from. Is it
Well,
coming
that's,
from
it's foundational,
Is
then.
it direct knowledge or is it from?
It's direct.
Well, again, sir, you don't speak to the court, you speak through your attorney. We need to have a foundation as to where this information is coming from. Otherwise, it's a stay.
Did you have conversations with your mother about a deed that was going to be drawn up by Linda Main?
Yeah,
And what did your mother tell you about it?
he was asking her to help her to do the deed. She asked in April how we're doing the deed and asking, and Linda said, pray about it, because
April of what year?
20, pretty sure 24. Or 23, it was after the June with the property. I ain't sure on the date, but I know she was asked to help her to do the deed because she didn't trust Clark, because Clark had to mess up on the deed, taking Jeff's name off.
Okay.
So she was, Linda said to pray about it, and a couple months went past, and Linda said, you sure you wanted me to do this for you? And she said, yeah.
Object hearsay.
I was in the room with mom talking to her. And Linda.
Again, sir, you keep responding. No, you said, oops, sorry, 3 times.
Okay,
Enough, please.
yeah.
Wait for the question and the court's response. Find the foundation where this is coming from. Otherwise, it's hearsay.
I'll move on, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Did you ever get a loan for the East Barn?
No,
What is the status of the East Barn?
it's where it's at, we never, with, Brian, I guess that we, to get the loan, mom would have to co-sign or put our names on the land where the East Barn is at.
So were you able to get other loans besides that?
Yeah, we got operating loan that same year, the plant drops.
But you weren't able to receive a loan for the East Barn?
No,
Excuse me, is that correct? That you cannot get a loan for the East Barn?
we couldn't get the loan for the East Barn.
That's all I- Okay, because you said no, and it'd be confusing if you read it in the transcript. I understand his answer. Go ahead, Ms. Michelle.
Did there become a time you ever talked to your mother about getting a loan for the East Barn after 2017?
And after that, no, not after that incident.
And around November of 2023, did you receive any loans from Greenstone or any other place?
Not at that time.
And were-
April, we just had operating loan already in motion with Brian without doing it because it rolls from year to year.
one moment, please.
Sure.
Did there become a time that your mother told you she didn't want any more loans in her name?
Yeah,
So then you and your brother Jeff did what?
When we bought the tractor, we went up to Brian, applied for the loan, he said yes, and we got the loan.
Did there ever come a time where you talked to your mother about any, deeds that were being drawn up in and around 2023?
Yes,
And what were your conversations like?
he said that she was wanting Linda to draw up the deeds for us, over to us, as we earned them, and then Linda replied back. When I talked to her, yeah, she wants Mom to pray about it, so she for sure knew what she wanted to do at the very start.
Okay, so
Your
let me
Honor.
take,
Hearsay, I'm sorry. You can't say what Linda May said.
That part I agree, objection sustained, hearsay, relative to what Linda Main is,
Or even Brian Palega for that.
as well as Brian Fleck. It's
Right.
hearsay.
Frank. Next question. Let's come to the day of the signing of the deed. Where were you?
I was taking, Brian came in the house and then Jeff came out to the field to get me, because I had taken the truck to the field to get loaded with beans.
So was there a time that you were not present with Brian and your mother?
Yeah,
And then there came a time, who was all there to sign the deed?
just me, Jeff, Mom, and Brian Flegga, that's it.
And Brian Palega was there in what capacity? Why was he there?
To sign the deed, to notarize the deeds. And I couldn't.
And did, after the deed was signed, what happened then? That day?
As we were signing them, that they were all 10 each, you were signing, that you knew it.
Did you go back to work that day?
Yeah, I went back to the beans,
And was the deed left with your mother?
yes, on the table,
So she had access to the deed.
yeah.
And the next day, when you were getting ready to go to work, what happened?
He had the check wrote out to go up to register the deed, and she said, take it up there right away this morning so we can have it done. And I said, I'll take it after we milk the cows, and I gotta haul in 2 loads of beans, and then I'll take it in the afternoon, and she goes, no, take it in right this morning.
So is your testimony that your mother had the check already written for you?
So before I got out of my bedroom and in the kitchen,
And then she asked you to take it to the register?
yeah.
Not to write.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Exhibit 7 and 8 journal.
Yes. I'm sorry, 8 as well.
Sorry, I normally don't ask for 8, but I need these. And may I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you. Sir, with regard to exhibit 7, I'm showing you,
Yeah.
there's some area of circled on the face page of, page 1. You see that?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No.
Okay. I'm showing you what is page 2. You see page 2?
Yeah.
And there's some handwriting on it, correct?
Yeah.
And that is your handwriting, true?
Yeah.
And you put it,
They asked me and I registered the deed, told me what I needed right, and I spelled that wrong.
Okay, so let me just ask you a couple questions. You went to register the document that was signed and witnessed by Brian Palega.
Yeah.
Right? And when you did so, you were told by the Register of Deeds that it wasn't in a form allowed to be registered, right?
No, he said that, yeah,
Okay, and she told you that you needed to put the information on the deed that said drafted by whomever it was drafted by, right?
yeah,
And you then wrote drafted by, and you acknowledge you spelled the word wrong, but okay. And you put L period A period, right?
yeah,
And you call LA, that's Linda Main, right?
yeah,
Okay, and then you put Brian Palega, do you see that?
yeah.
And then you put his
Yeah.
address, please listen. And then you put his address down, right?
They asked.
Okay.
And,
Okay, so they ask you at the Register of Deeds for Brian Palega's address, and that's what you put down.
yeah,
Okay. You knew that Brian Palega had not drafted that document when you wrote that.
well, unless he outdo the repeat changing over some of the stuff in the document on the third page.
Can you listen to my question?
Yeah,
Okay, so when you were at the Register of Deeds with this Exhibit 7, and you couldn't get it recorded because you were told that you had to have certain information, so you put the information on it, right? We've already discussed that. And you knew when you put that Brian Palega drafted this document that that was not true. Right, but you.
Brian Flagg helped her with the third page showing what she needed to change, which I don't know what it
Okay,
was.
well, let's talk
On
about
the
the third.
third page.
Let's talk about the third page, okay? So the third page had signatures for your mother.
Yeah,
Okay, and then it also had a signature apparently for your brother Jeff, right?
yeah,
And for yourself, true?
yeah,
Okay, and in addition, you apparently had to put who the signatures were for because that's your writing as well underneath the signatures, right?
yeah.
And that also happened at the Register of Deeds because you
I
had to
didn't write these, man. This is my writing. This is my brother Jeff's writing.
Okay, your brother Jeff testified that he didn't spell his name with the backward J. Is that how you spell it?
No,
All right. And so
But
is it
I-
your testimony that
if you
Your
look at this writing.
Wait,
Ma'am.
sir.
I'm answering this question.
Well, no, she was still.
I didn't write it.
Ask your
No.
question.
All right.
Mr. Locke.
Thank you. So is it your testimony that as to page 3, that the only thing that you wrote on page 3 was Frank Buschlager and your signature? Is that your
Yeah.
testimony?
Yeah,
Okay, and so do you know who purportedly wrote Audrey Buschlager?
each one of us did it ourselves because he said you had to sign and signature, date and signature.
Okay,
Sign,
were
date, and
you,
signature. I was in the room with all three of us.
okay, so you were in the room when purportedly the people all put their names and signature, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And Brian,
Brian signed it in the room right after we got it.
okay, and Brian was the notary, right?
Yeah,
All right. Now, after that one was done, we have Exhibit 8, right?
yeah,
And Exhibit 8, the third page that you say somebody helped you fix, right? Well, before we do page 3 of this one, after you wrote in what you needed to write in,
yeah,
then the Register of Deeds accepted Exhibit 7 and recorded it for you, true?
yeah.
Okay, and you got a copy of that, right?
No,
All right,
I left the building, handed it to the building.
okay. And then, and that was done on November 22, 2023. Would you agree that that's what the deed says?
Yeah,
All right. And then we have Exhibit 8. And you would agree that Exhibit 8 was recorded on December 13th of 2023, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this was way after the first one, right?
yeah.
Okay. And,
But, signatures we signed were both the same thing.
okay, so it's your testimony that you had page 3.
I took this,
Listen to the question, please. So it's your question, it's your testimony that you had page 3 of number 7 exhibit and
Yeah.
page 3 of number 8 exhibit, and that you completed both of those on the same day. Is that your testimony?
yeah, we signed 2 of them.
Okay,
She had a copy, Linda made 2 copies when the, courthouse had the flooding, that if it ruined the courthouse, she would have a copy. To
Okay.
show that that was notarized and stamped. Done,
okay,
but it was signed the same day, we signed 2 papers when we signed. He
Okay.
handed 2 papers around signed. See the date? We both went around.
what is done, sir, is that this one is redacted and printed and then attached to exhibit 8, which is then typed instead of your handwriting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He
basically
fixed
it was,
yeah. If it was not accepted, he put that in there.
well, it was accepted, but it got fixed up over a month after, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
but this deed here was still stamped.
Linda Main is a personal friend of yours, is that correct?
Yeah.
And she lives in the house that you gave her, is that true?
I never gave her.
She lives there for free?
No, she paid me for the house,
Okay,
and I paid for the house.
I see.
We did it together.
Okay, so you both paid for the house.
Yeah,
You testified, sir, that in 2006, that you claim your mother told you that if you came back to the farm, that she would put your name on real estate.
yeah,
And your brother had lived there the entire time of his lifetime, not ever leaving, and his name wasn't on any real estate, was it?
it was took off after I quit holy, if you look at that.
Okay, can you listen to the question, sir? Can you listen to the question?
Yeah,
In 2006, when you purport that your mother told you that if you came back to the farm, that she would put your name on the real estate, you told us that, right?
she told me that.
Okay. And your dad was thriving and living in 2006, right?
Yeah,
Was this a situation where your mother, controlled the roost, so to speak, that she was the boss of the family, or was it your dad that was the boss of the family?
they were pretty equal, but dad had the final say when.
Okay. But yet you're trying to tell us that you had a conversation with your mother here today, and she was the one that told you that she was gonna put your name on the deed, right?
Dad agreed with her
Oh, I see. So your dad told you that too?
when I got home from work, and he
I-
tried that when we were.
All right. You testified, sir, that you were paid $500 a week, is that correct?
Yeah,
And you never missed a payment, right? I mean, you got out all of your salaries on a weekly basis, true?
yeah.
Okay.
Except when Margaret's helping mom with the different all 4 weeks with no $500. And it shows it on.
I see. So in addition, you were splitting the profits from the farm, true?
splitting the profits as one.
Weren't you using money that the farm generated to pay off the equipment that you were buying and the cows and all of the feed and all of that?
Yeah,
So you were having the benefit of the income from the farm while you lived there, just like your brother was, right?
I never took money when I worked for Kohler or before Kohler off of the farm.
Sir, after you came back in 2006, did you purchase cattle?
Yeah,
How many head did you purchase?
21.
And what about your brother?
That was purchased together.
Okay, and did you get a loan for that?
Yeah,
Right, and did you pay that loan through the income from the farm?
yeah. It was,
Did you pay for other things from the farm as well?
yeah, it's like all four of us. And Mom, Dad, me, and the shop. It was a partnership.
Sir, do you remember giving a deposition at my office?
Yeah,
May I approach again?
Yes, you.
I'm gonna go to page 30. And question, line 15. When was it that you and your mom went to Don Clark? And your answer, that was when we were doing the East Barn in May. Dad and Mom went up. I'd have to look up the deeds to get the exact date. That was your answer, true?
yeah,
Okay. And then the next question, was that when we did for the East Barn and she gave us 5 parcels so we could get the loan when we were ready to get the loan to do the East Barn? Was that your answer?
yeah,
And then I asked you, so you just told me you couldn't get a loan for the East Barn because your name, answer, we couldn't, wasn't on it. Continuing the question, and your answer, and that's why she did that, so we could. Is that what you said?
he was,
Is that what this says?
Yeah.
Okay, the next question, all right. So you admit that the whole purpose of the deed was so you could get the loan for the East Barn, true? That was my
True.
question. And then you said answer, not this final deed, the earlier deed of 5 parcels that Don Clark has in there. That's what your answer was, yes or no?
yeah,
Okay,
but,
sir, with regard to that,
Just have
it's
to wait
true.
for the question. He's, for the record, witness is looking at me, and he's had maybe a perplexed look, but he has to wait for the question and answer the question appropriately, or truthfully, at least I should say. Continue.
Thank you. So, sir, we already know that you took your mom and your dad up to Don Clark's office in the summer of 2023, right?
yeah,
And you did so, and you said to your mother and your dad that Don Clark had made a mistake on the deeds. Isn't that what you said?
not on that.
You didn't, well, you just told us earlier, he had, listen to the question, okay? So you took your parents up to Don Clark, and you told Don Clark that there was a mistake in the deed and it needed to be
No, I
fixed.
didn't.
Okay. Whatever you told him or didn't tell him, you made the appointment for your parents with Don Clark, true?
Yeah,
And you took your parents up to Don Clark to sign a new Lady Bird deed, true?
no, we went for a quick claim deed. Not later.
Okay, so you went for a quick claim deed that would have put the property in you and your brother's name, but that's not what you got, was it?
No, but that's.
Okay,
what we
okay.
have to do from her to do it.
Okay, so you had thought that you were gonna get Don Clark to make a transfer to you and your brother, and that didn't happen. Is that what happened?
No,
No. Then Linda Main is the one that drafted Exhibit 7, and ultimately that was a quick claim deed for those same parcels. Isn't that true?
of the fiber of it all.
Of the 5.
No,
The 5 plus the ones you have had in the Lady Bird deed, right? So it was all of the real estate that your mom and dad ever owned, true?
yeah,
Okay. The one that Don Clark did was regarding the east barn, right?
yeah.
And it wasn't a quick claim deed though, was it?
No, you did a Lady Bird and Brian when it took.
So you took that Lady Bird deed to Brian in 2023 to get a loan for the east barn and you were turned down because it didn't put it in your name, isn't
I
that
didn't
true?
even take it there. We didn't even go there because we knew a Lady Bird deed. I never talked to him again about it. It
You knew
came
you couldn't
to
get the
them.
loan.
No, because it wasn't, what was agreed from, what she was gonna do.
Excuse me, Your Honor, one moment. Okay, nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Redirect.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Court has some questions. Mr. Frank Bushlinger, so I want to make sure I have the names correct.
Yeah,
You stated a few moments ago that you have known this Linda Main for 35 years.
yeah,
And I believe you also stated that your mother has known Ms. Main for the same amount of time.
yeah.
So is it fair to say that you met with Ms. Main first? Or how is it that you met Ms. Main?
Bale and hay by girls, came friends.
Okay,
And then she was invited over to our house for a dinner.
okay. And my understanding is she drafted both of these documents, correct?
Yeah,
7 and 8. So if she was the one that drafted the documents and Mr. Palaga was only there to notarize it, why would you write down that it was written by Mr. Palaga as well?
because he wrote on another piece of paper for her, and that third page was changed to what he said we had to do. Or she would have to put in there to make it so it would go through. And I don't know what it was in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at,
I don't know what it was.
I'll show you 7 and 8, both exhibits. Can you show me what was changed by Mr. Palaga?
I don't know. I never ever seen what he had to change or changed. I never was in that part of the doing the deeds.
Okay, I just want to give you the opportunity. Okay,
You know,
and this Ms. Main, you said that, I believe in testimony that there's,
oops,
no, hold on, that she lives in a home that you own?
and she owns, but
Okay,
I live at the farm,
okay. So you own a home together.
you know.
You may live separately.
I stay there once in a while, like when we were getting threats at our house and bullets coming through the window with the police report has.
Bullets.
And she was scared, and the one night I went over there was called, and I never stayed there then after it. That she could see someone going across around the building, and when she lived in the trailer, there was someone walked on, moved the ladder, what I had laying out there, walked down the trailer roof, and then left, and I came there running.
What year would this have been?
That's back when I first bought it, about 28 years.
Oh, I thought it was just since.
No, bullets in the window were about 7 years ago.
Okay. And do you know an Angela Main?
Yeah,
Who's Angela Main?
there gone.
Her daughter. Okay. Okay. Questions in light of the courts? Questions in light of the courts?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Rose, you may step down. Sir. You're next. Please.
We rest, Your Honor.
All right, defense rest. Rebuttal, Mr. Rose,
Very brief, Your Honor.
please.
I would call Audrey Worschlager back to the stand.
All right, she'll stay right there.
And you've already been sworn, so you were here, you heard the testimony of your sons, Frank and Jeff.
Yes,
Was that truthful about what happened with the deed?
no,
Did you ever have any discussion about the contents of that deed before your signature on page 3? Specifically that all of the real estate and all of your personal property was going to be attached to the front of that signature?
no,
Did you ever have any conversation with Mr. Palega about the contents of that,
no,
Did you believe that that was for a loan for the East Barn?
yes.
Is that what Frank and Jeff told you?
They're the ones that called, Palega out. I didn't know nothing about it, but they told me about the deed to fix the East Barn. But Frank or Jeff called Brian Palega. I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Okay, so you thought that there was something being done so that they could have a loan on the East Barn?
Yes,
Okay, not that you were transferring everything you ever owned in your lifetime to them.
no,
Would you have ever done that, signed that document if you thought that they were gonna do that?
I would have never did it.
Did you ever ask Linda Main to draw up Exhibit 7, the deed?
No,
Did you know anything about it before Brian Palega came out to the house?
no,
Did you ever ask Linda Main to help you with your checking account?
mainly just for, I want, the KC's, policy. No, I would say no for that one.
Okay, so you didn't ask about the checking account, but then you were telling me you did ask her for some assistance with a life insurance policy?
I think from the case, yeah,
Oh, for the KC?
yeah,
All right. And did you have a conversation with your daughter Nancy about her helping you with the KC policy?
no, I didn't.
Okay. You heard her testify here today that she talked to you about Linda Main helping you with something. Did you hear her testify to that?
Yes,
Do you recall any conversation with her about any of that?
well, we and Nancy never talked about the KC's.
Okay, so you did talk about the KC policy or not?
Not to Nancy.
Okay, okay. Did you recall having any conversation with your daughter Nancy about doing an estate plan with Don Clark or anyone else for that matter?
No idea.
Okay. Did you ever complain about a bill for Don Clark?
No. Because that's his job, everybody.
One moment here. Do you know whether Linda Main was discussing with Frank or Jeff the life insurance policy for your husband before he passed?
I don't know that for sure, that they had it for, that she talked to them about it.
Okay. Did she talk to you about that or not?
Yeah, she wanted me to take it out before either one of us died. And we talked to our agent, and he said that would be a mistake because it'd be a penalty.
Okay.
And me and Dan, neither one wanted to take it out, you know what I mean? I guess, she said she read the Bible every day, and I thought people that read the Bible every day would be telling the truth, but
Thank you, ma'am. Nothing further.
Cross-examination.
Is it your testimony earlier today that you did write out a check to the Huron County Deeds, Register of Deeds office?
Frank did come in that morning, and he's the one that told me before he even went out milking. Yes, I did, yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
So were you the one that told him to go and take care of this, or did he ask for the check from you?
He asked for the check.
All right, and did you ever see the document Exhibit 7 in its entirety before he took it up to record it? Did you ever see it?
No,
Thank you, nothing further.
Any other questions?
Mrs. Bushleger, were you alone with the document in your house?
I didn't look at it or nothing, no.
But you were alone with the document in your house?
Not really, no.
So you're saying you didn't have the chance to look at it at all?
Right.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Bushleger, there was testimony by one of your sons relative to your distrust of the attorney that prepared all your paperwork, namely Mr. Clark. Did you have a distrust?
She didn't hear the first part of the question.
Oh,
Your
let
Honor,
me
sorry.
try again. There was testimony by one of your sons seated here saying that you had a distrust for Mr. Clark.
That's not so, no. I never, ever did.
All right, it's the only question I have. Any questions in light of the courts?
No, Your Honor.
Yes, just one. Would you have asked anybody other than Don Clark to do legal work for you?
No, it was always Don Clark.
Thank you.
Frank was the one that called Brian Palega. I didn't know nothing about it.
Mr. Close. Final argument, Mr. Earl.
Could we take a bathroom break, just 10 minutes? Thank you.
We'll take a recess. We'll reconvene approximately 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Court recalls matter Bushleger versus Bushleger 245963 CH. Proofs have been entered in this case. It's now time for closing arguments. Mr. Earl, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor will recall in my opening statement that I indicated that I had filed a complaint on behalf of Audrey Bushleger to correct an egregious fraudulent transfer of all of her assets in real estate, and that I would be presenting evidence to demonstrate that that's in fact what happened. With regard to that, Your Honor, I just would like to go over the proof generally, because obviously this is a single day in court, and so it's very thorough in taking notes, and I'm sure remembers practically everything that was said, but generally.
Don't be so kind. I do the best I can.
Generally, with regard to this matter, we had Ken Jr. and Paul and Barb kind of give us the nuts and bolts and the background of the family and that sort of thing. But when we had Audrey testify, I thought it was pretty clear that she was a very credible witness, had a grasp of the actual events, and was truthful in her testimony. And Ms. Bushleger told us that on the date that she signed this document, that she was told that it was to secure a loan for the East Farm. She was further forthright about that there had been some financial things, and she didn't want things in loans. She wouldn't give loans or anything of that nature for the boys because she didn't like how things were going. She further testified that exhibit 7 and exhibit 7, because I don't think she ever actually saw exhibit 8 until after the fact. But exhibit 7 didn't have any of the printing on it when she signed it, was just the signature page. She told us that there was no conversation regarding the contents with Brian Palega at any time, and that she further never even saw the front 2 pages of the document. I believe that. I think that's exactly what happened. And I think that the testimony of the 2 witnesses, Brian Palega and Donald Clark, that were entered via deposition, buttress that and ties in. And so specifically, Don Clark telling us that he was contacted by Frank Buschlager about there being a mistake in a deed, and that given the descriptions for that deed, and that he then prepared a ladybird deed. Now, Frank Buschlager told us that that's not what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to do a deed, quitclaim deed for 5 parcels, which were the 5 parcels, and the court can compare the estate plan that was done through Don Clark's office, I believe in 21. And then the change in 23 on the ladybird deed that wasn't to correct descriptions, but in fact was to transfer all the other real estate by ladybird deed that the other kids had gotten and put it in Frank and Jeff's name. But we still have the same problem for Frank and Jeff, because that's a ladybird deed and it's not a present transfer, and he still can't take that and get a loan. So he contacts Linda Main, his very good friend for 35 years, and has Linda Main prepare a document that is Exhibit 7. He contacts Brian Palega and asks him to come out and notarize. Brian Palega, in his deposition, tells us specifically that he never saw the first 2 pages of the document, and I suspect that Brian Palega would not be authorized to either draft a deed or even witness a deed of this nature. But nevertheless, he witnessed Audrey's signature. Brian Palega would also know that neither Frank nor Jeff's signature would have been required on a deed, because neither Frank nor Jeff owned anything to sign for. What we also know is that Brian Palega testified he was only at the residence once. Exhibit 7 and Exhibit 8 are identical, except the handwriting that isn't the best, the spelling that isn't the best, has been changed and is typewritten. And if the court will notice, it says on that document, copy. That second document, Exhibit 8. Because it wasn't original. It was a redacted document from Exhibit 1 that made it look better. That's what happened.
Exhibit 1 or exhibit?
Sorry, Exhibit 7 and Exhibit 8, that's correct. Exactly what it is. And that ties into what Mrs. Buschlager says, which is no, that was a single time, one time, never discussed anything. I was told that this was to get the loan for the East Barn, and I signed, and that's what I believed it was, until she found out different. But ultimately, what we have is we have independent witness Brian, independent witness Don Clark, that buttresses what Mrs. Buschlager says, because Don Clark, and that is that there was no discussion about what was in the ladybird deed when that was done. And Don Clark testified at his deposition that he did not know that those descriptions were for the other 5 parcels that was not part of the estate plan. And he didn't know that until he found out about
Exhibit 7 in January of 24. So the fact of the matter is that this was an agenda orchestrated by Frank and Jeff to make certain that the property could never be conveyed to anybody other than them. That was not their right. And they did so in a fraudulent manner by expressing to Mrs. Wuschlager one thing when that wasn't true, when it was something totally different than what they had said. And there was kind of a perfect storm that facilitated that because Mrs. Wuschlager had gotten upset about the finances at the farm. And even the testimony of the boys, I don't remember whether it was Jeff or Frank saying that, I think it was Jeff saying that the only way the farm's gonna stay afloat is if we buy additional cows. And the mom not being of a mind that she's going to extend on further credit when the bills won't be time to pay. And so since she wasn't willing to do that, the reference is that, well, if you sign this, we can get the loan, and then it's in our name, not your name, and we'll be good to go. But ultimately, Your Honor, I don't think that the testimony of Jeff or Frank is believable. It's not credible. And what they said on the stand today is completely controverted in the deposition testimony at my office that was taken on November 13th of 2024. The bottom line, Your Honor, is that I believe on behalf of my client that exhibits 7 and 8 must be struck, must be declared void. I would further indicate that the boys have actually had a benefit since 24 and 25 in utilizing the property, but my client is not asking for any accounting regarding that. She's simply asking that the deeds be declared void under the circumstances and that her property be returned to her. As I said when I started, I think that what these boys have done should subject them to cost, and I still do. I frankly think that they're just lucky that their mother didn't pursue the criminal statute because this is criminal fraud from procuring the deed. If the court has any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
I guess it kind of begs the question, but I guess I'm going to ask because I'll ask this young thing. Where is Linda Main?
Linda Main will not come to court, and she avoids service, but Linda Main is their witness, not my witness. I took
She
her
was listed in your
deposition.
witness list too.
True. I took her deposition, and I know what she said. And I'll leave it at that.
I mean, as a juror, so to speak, in a jury trial, members of the jury may have questions, and that was mine. So.
Yeah, where's Linda Main? It's funny because my client said the same thing to me, but ultimately, yeah. Okay.
I have no other questions.
Thank you.
You go, you're close.
Your Honor, in this case, we have Jeff and Frank Wuschlager, who both worked substantial times on the farm. And it was their understanding that because they were working on the farm, that they were to inherit part of it, but never did they purport or make any kind of demands upon their mother to get the deeds done in those cases. She did this on her own with the help of Linda Main, which I'm guessing you're gonna ask me where she is. I asked her if she would come to court, and she said she had extreme medical conditions that she could not be. So to answer that question before you ask. And basically, at this point, the plaintiff wants you to believe that she did not have any idea of what she was signing that day. But a matter of fact, she was alone in the house with the deed. She signed the letter, she signed a check to the Huron County Register of Deeds, which she wouldn't have to do if it was a loan document. And she then gave the check to Frank to take up to the court. So I just let the court say that I trust your judgment, and I'm just saying that at this point, Frank and Jeff are just looking for this deed to stand because it's what they understood that they were to get, and it was their mother's decision, and she signed off on it, and we're just asking for the deed to stand.
All right, I do have one other question.
Yes.
Let's just say hypothetically, we just had the estate plans prepared by Mr. Clark. Upon, God forbid, the plaintiff's death, both brothers would have received the majority of the land. They have not, according to the,
Yes.
okay, that's what I thought by reading the deeds. Okay, thank you. I have no other questions. Thank you. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I want to make it clear, and that's very true, of the 700 acres, I think it was 450 to 500 that they were giving in the estate plan. I didn't ask my client whether she had ever disclosed what that was, but to my knowledge, she had not. And, but that's exactly what was happening. But ultimately, somehow, Frank, told Mr. Clark that he had made a mistake and demanded that the 5 parcels that are included in all of them now be included in a new deed that was supposed to be a quick claim. Not only deed, he thought he was going to get a quick claim deed, so he was then going to go get money and do the East Farm, but that didn't work. And that would have effectively made it be so that all of the property, when she died, would go to them. But well, we found out about the deed, and ultimately, when you think about this, the only thing that makes sense of my client's testimony, and when she told us that she never saw page 1 and 2 until 24, I believe her. When we hear that, Frank Bushleger puts on there drafted by LA and Brian Palega, why would he put drafted by Brian Palega other than to make it look like something that it really isn't? Because it really was done by LA. Why, if it was there to be seen, didn't Brian Palega see it? Because it wasn't there to be seen. My client didn't see it and didn't know what was going on, and she trusted her sons. She never thought that they would do anything of this nature, but clearly they did. And the deed should be considered void.
All right, this is a bench trial. A bench trial regarding the validity of deeds listed in Exhibits 7 and 8. And I might add, not only real property, but if you look at the attachment on page 2 of personal property as well. For instance, Audrey Bushleger is also stating herein that any now owned and after acquired items and properties, including all tangible personal and farm-related properties, items, all farm machinery, equipment, livestock, growing crops, crops and storage, accounts receivable, contractual sales owed by others, all cash on hand, all checking and savings accounts, any and all insurance annuities, life insurance policy payouts. Not a complete sentence, but that's what it spells out. All farming operations, including the house, all the contents, all vehicles, which
What began as a simple landscaping project between neighbors quickly turned into a courtroom battle over property damage, responsibility, and thousands of dollars in repairs. One family claimed their neighbors changed the grading of their backyard, adding sand, shale, and landscaping material that eventually washed into their French drain system during heavy Texas rainstorms. They say they warned their neighbors months before the damage became serious, but no action was taken. Professional landscapers later inspected the drains and concluded they had become clogged, recommending costly repairs. The defendants told a very different story. They argued the real problem wasn't their landscaping. It was the natural slope of the neighborhood, where runoff from multiple uphill properties had always carried mud and sediment downhill. They insisted they installed barriers, improved drainage, and never intentionally caused damage. As both sides presented photos, expert opinions, and months of text messages, one question remained. Was the clogged drainage system caused by a neighbor's landscaping, or by years of unavoidable water runoff? Unable to reach an immediate verdict, the judge postponed the decision, promising to carefully review the evidence before issuing a final ruling, leaving both neighbors waiting to learn whether this costly dispute would finally come to an end.